Hello.
Welcome
To a special edition of Make It So.
We're going live today instead of next Tuesday.
Yeah, we kind of promised you that we would get your blocks ready so that you can finish in time. Obviously, we're just doing this off the cuff, so...
And we're in our new room, too, which is kind of small, compact, but better sound and...
In progress, right?
In progress.
Hey, so Peggy Bunch, how are you? You hopped on the show. I think Joan has something to show you, too, by the way. After last night's show. Can you give us if you're on there, Peggy, give us a sound check on that.
I went home, and with the 6-inch cube, I made the kitten bigger. So these are fabrics from home, so we do have this one in the store. So it's wall hanging size, but this greenish yellow, we're out of. We don't have this anymore. So this is from my stash. And then I also did...
You inspired her, Peggy. Now she's went out and...
The bat. Is he flying upside down?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
The bat.
Hey, Beverly, how are you?
So, cool thing. Oh, yeah, there's a big old...
string hanging out here.
There we go. Cool thing about AccuQuilt, when you have an AccuQuilt pattern like this, you can make it your own, and I think that these will be great wall decorations for the holiday in the store. So we'll probably just tack them up and then quilt them after the holiday. But
see, Peggy, what happens when you push Joan on? Then she gets this idea. She went home, sewed out 2 of these last night.
Oh, I'm doing the other 2 as well.
Jumping up and down, so.
I was like, yeah, you just made me lose my mind in the middle of the show because I was like, oh, I've got this fabric at home, I could do this, and so, but anyway, we're going to make the pumpkin, and so let's just get started with that. So we need, just look at my pattern here for a minute, we need green, black, and orange, which I have. And we need 12 of these, and we don't need any squares, so it's just, so I have 2 already cut from last night. Oh, that's just a little tiny piece. We'll save that for the pumpkin, or the ghost. So we need 12, so let's cut those. So there's 4. And 12. Okay, there. Still have 2 left. All of our triangles that we need. And a little extra string. We don't really need that, but set this aside over here. We need 4 patches of this. I should want this. There we go. Shape number 5, half square triangles. And then 5 patches of the squares. So this is wide enough. I'm going to get 8, so I'll use them for something else. There's 4 and 5. So those aside, set this aside. And we need 15 squares. I'm going to cut the squares first. So there's 8, 16.
Yeah.
Had a little trouble getting started there. And let's pull one out. And then we need 16 of this one. And so I need more fabric. That can't be right. Yep, we do. So there's 12. Did we have a question?
No, it was the numbers didn't show up on there. How many people were actually on?
Oh.
Becky's on there, and Beverly's on there, and it still says a 0. So we just
And I'm going to open it up to get the last 2. Well, that gives me 14. I need another little scrap of this.
Where's it at?
Here.
I mean, who would have it?
It's on the shelf.
Yeah.
So it's 12, 13, 14.
Just
Let's
cut me
see
a
if
little
I
piece.
can do. I just need 2 pieces. I need 4 pieces. Let's see if I have enough. Nope. Nope.
Oh, you don't have enough? Okay.
Just a little square. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna finish cutting when he brings that piece back. We're gonna start by sewing all of our black half square triangles go to the orange. So we're gonna start with that. How is everybody today? Just to let you know, the shop is open and there are people here, so if somebody comes in, I put a note on the door that says that the live is in progress, and if you come in, you will be part of the show, so you might get to see some of the other staff. I almost put that backwards. I just need a little piece, like a 6-inch square. Okay. was just recalculating my math, going, did I make a mistake? Because that's not unheard of. Sometimes I'm working on these patterns late at night, and there's distractions at home. Lana the kitty is the main one. And last night, I was sewing along, and I'm in the downstairs, and I went upstairs. I was starting to go upstairs to get refill on my water, and Lana, kitty, was full on sitting in the sink waiting for somebody to come by and turn the water on so she could get her drink. And then the other thing that she did last night that was pretty funny was when we got home, it was dark out, so we were sitting down to have dinner, and so she wanted to go outside because she's a predator. And so she was at the back door because it has glass, and all of these moths and things were trying to fly through the glass or attracted to the light. And she's out there standing up, pawing, thank you, and trying to eat all of these little bugs that are flying against this window. So it was kind of funny. It was like dinner and a show because we're sitting there having dinner, and she's at the door, pawing, catching bugs, licking the door, trying to eat these bugs that are flying around. So she was her normal entertaining self last night. That cat has a lot of personality. And I don't know why I can't see this piece. Little piece of extra thread there. Okay. My threads are getting tangled up underneath. I don't know if it was under this guide or if it's actually under the presser foot. So let's try this one again. And just use this little guide to help it a little bit. All the black. We need the orange to go with the green. Let's check our straight grain. And there's our other 4 pieces. All done. I did have a lot of fun making those larger blocks last night. And it gave me ideas for other things as well. So a little while back I did we called it Holly Jolly Christmas Tree Quilt. And I think we showed it as one of the kits that we had in the store. And that was a quilt that I designed, but I think I can make a Christmas tree that's a wall hanging about that size with the 12-inch cube. And that'll be fun. So we might do that in the month of December. Okay, so since we're done cutting, I'm just going to move this out of the way so we can start laying out our quilt. And I have room to press these seams open. It's a lot of half square triangles in this one, but it did turn out to be a cute pumpkin. I think you'll like it too. I'm going to make that one in the ghost tonight in the large. I already picked out fabrics and everything. Robert was laughing because I was just so excited to get home and start that. What about you? Have you ever had a project that you were just so excited to start you couldn't wait to get home and start making it?
He says she is now. Excited.
Yeah. Me too. I've got a Christmas quilt that I designed that I don't think I'm going to do a pattern for. It's $100. So for the advanced sewers, I might just put it out there and you can just download the cutting, because that's all we really need with AccuQuilt. We can look at a block and break it down and go, okay, this gets pieced together like this. But we shall see. And its wall hanging site, it uses the 4-inch cube. So like I said, I am really digging the 4-inch cube and the little bitty pieces. But apparently I'm really getting into this, the 12-inch cube too, and having some fun with that. Because it's really, I mean, those were like 20 minutes to cut out and sew together. I think it takes longer to sew these than it did to sew the great big giant blocks. And then you have decoration you could give as a gift, or hang it up in your house. All of my walls are still bare at home. Do you have you hung up anything, Mom?
Yeah, I have some like art on walls. Some curtains though.
There's the Plaza Art Festival's coming up soon too. Here in Kansas City, they do a big art festival. Okay, 3 more, and then we're going to start doing our layout for this block. We also have 2 classes going on in the store right now. So there's a t-shirt class going on, and beginning quilting is going on. So it's never too late to start. Okay, let's start doing our layout. those are my extra ones. Where did my other pieces go? I know this happens to you too. There they are. Orange, and then 2 green. Green and orange. Green and orange. Gonna have to turn these a couple of times to get them right. A row of orange. One. You definitely want to lay this block out. And then corners. Okay, there is our block laid out. And again, we're just gonna piece these in rows. Sorry about that, lost you for a second. When I was sewing at home, I didn't have this nice big space. I don't have space big enough to lay out a 36-inch quilt without having to get up and sit back down. And so I had to have the pattern in front of me and kind of just sew them that way. This way is easier. Oops, cut my thread. Okay. Move this that way. Disconnected again. Do we need to open the door? And we are back, I think, to the is that way. Yep. And that way. It's easier once I have all the pieces, like 3 pieces together, because then I can easily tell which direction the pieces are supposed to be sewed to. Also works as a stylus. So did anybody post their stash pictures?
No, let me check.
We have 1 so far. 1 so far.
Very organized.
Nice. I have most of mine organized, but I still have a couple of those plastic bins full of just kind of scrappy stuff that I kind of think I'm gonna just cut it into AccuQuilt shapes. So one of the things that I've done in the past that's not really working for me anymore, and if you have things in your sewing room that are not working, don't hesitate to change it up. So one of the things I did in the past, because I get bored pretty easily working on some of my projects, and so I look for variety to keep me interested, and you know, I sew for pleasure. So one of the things that I had was like all of these plastic boxes that, you know, I put projects that I'm not really focused on. I'm still working on them, but I'm not really focusing on them as a project. So they are in these boxes, and I have a stack of them about this tall. They're about that tall. And so one of the things that I did in my sewing room is the same company that we buy our slat wall from here. He actually had them cut down some pieces for me and all where I can hang things, and I was going to put my projects in bags so they're a little more visible. And so then I was like, okay, so now what do I do with all these like little plastic boxes? And I was thinking, like, all of these little pieces, and I'm talking about little, like smaller than a, you know, a fat eighth and stuff like that, cutting them into like 2.5 inch squares or half square triangles, where if I wanted to just make a real scrappy quilt, I could just pull from them and sew them together and use them for the pre-cut shapes instead of, you know, hiding projects, because for me, out of sight, out of mind. So if they're a little more visible hanging from my wall, I might remember how much I was enjoying that project and then work on it.
Peggy, the most recent Facebook post says, share your stash and you can comment your video in the comments.
The other thing I'm a firm believer in too is sometimes you just feel like sewing and you don't really feel like making anything. If you already have a bunch of pre-cut shapes, you can just sit and sew half square triangles together. And then when you have a bunch of those, you can just sew them into a quilt or a wall hanging or something and make it really scrappy. And scrappy always works. It just seems like it won't, but you know, you can put fabrics together that you would never put together in a quilt. You can put them together in a scrappy quilt and they just look so good. Okay, last block on each row. So next time I catch Lana sitting in the sink, I'm going to take a picture and post it so you guys can see what I see, because that cat is just hilarious sometimes. Little block. Let's just make sure I put it on. Yep, that's the right way. Okay. So there's all of our rows. Seven, I can start to see the pumpkin. It's so cute. Okay, so I am going to just press my seams in one direction here and then alternate the direction for the other row. So the other thing that I was thinking of too, like, so you don't have to put the eyes. So if you wanted to make a fall wall hanging, you just use squares instead of the eyes and take your pre-cut 2.5 inch squares and sew them together, and then you have a fall pumpkin wall hanging. press the seams open on some of these pieces because where those corners are all meeting, the seams are a little bit thick. And I think I broke my thread. I did. Okay. So foot down. Needle threader. Made a mistake. It happens. I'm not going to take this completely apart, but you get to fix my mistake with me. Maybe that was the machine saying, hey, slow down. You got a block going the wrong way. Okay, that's enough to take that out. Okay, let me open this up and make sure I have it going the right way. Okay, that corner goes there, like that. I'm glad I saw it now instead of like when the whole block was finished and in the middle of a quilt, because I've done that before too. We had an AccuQuilt project that I actually made the quilt twice because I wanted to do it in the 4-inch cube, and then I did it in the 8-inch cube as well because that's what the class was doing. And the 8-inch cube has a half square triangle that's going the wrong way, and it's going to stay that way. So it's already quilted. I saw it when it was on the quilting machine, and I'm like, nope, it's part of the quilt now. Okay, much better. seams are going this way, so I'm going to press the seams this way. We had to have the door open because the camera kept dropping the connection.
Oh no. Put a Wi-Fi thing back here?
I think you will.
Well, this is a test run for the YouTube room then, right?
Yeah. I was telling him about Lana last night, licking the door,
Yeah, chasing bugs.
chasing bugs. So we're pawing at the door so she could get out and go out on the deck and kill little moths. And probably
Yeah,
left
little
like three.
gnat things.
Gnat
That's what they
things.
were, yeah. Yeah, she's crazy. And then she's sitting in the sink, I think, waiting for you. So that cat fountain on the Xmas list is super important.
Who was it that posted that?
So somebody said, don't know how you're standing, sewing and standing.
It does take a little bit of
gotta work a
practice.
little bit on that.
I'm kind of excited about getting the room set up because then I'll be able to have a sit down.
Yeah.
And nope, I can't.
It's weird.
That happens when
No, the camera was a little flashed in and out there. Maybe we need to turn it up here maybe a little bit. Let's see. It's fully charged. Well, I'm glad that all of you could be part of the testing of the future YouTube room. Sorry for the camera drop.
Yeah, dropped a couple of times. But it hasn't since unless you're saying it's like flickering.
It did once, yeah. Did you guys see that, or did it flicker on you?
We could always sew in the kitchen.
Right next to the fish tank, right? Okay, good. It's almost a pumpkin.
Almost.
Charlie Brown?
It does kind of look like the Charlie Brown pumpkin. I have some houndstooth orange that I'm going to use for the giant pumpkin. Fall in.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So I got the fabrics out last night.
Robert has to listen to my decision-making process when I'm picking fabrics because I'll bring them out and I kind of like these together, but I think it might go better with this. And he's just like, yeah, that looks good.
I really did like the colors and
Yeah.
everything too. So. She knows the colors. You're sharing.
I was sharing.
She was very excited. And you had fun. So that's what sewing's about, right? You can have fun and be
Yeah.
creative, right?
I sew for pleasure. you know, we're very fortunate that we live in a world where, you know, my grandmother had to sew for necessity. So, make her, she had 5 daughters and 4 boys. She made a lot of clothes. And she had a treadle sewing machine for a long time. On top of making like bread and, you know, she would have been ecstatic to have this kind of sewing machine. And she had the best answer for people who said, well, it's not a real quilt unless it's hand pieced and hand quilted. And she was like, we know progress when we see it.
We don't know yet, Peggy. We'll have to check it.
What are we checking?
She sent us some
Video of her stash.
Oh,
video of the stash. That's right. Remember,
I do.
there's a comment on this. Send us pictures of your stash, right? So this is.
Mine will take several pictures. Because I have the nice, you know, I have everything on the.
We could just do the iPhone Hannah. We can do it.
The Billy bookcases I have for storing my fabric, and oh my gosh, this is so cute. That turned out awesome.
Yeah, that looks good. What do you guys think?
What do you think?
This Halloween table runner is coming together.
It is. Let me get the other blocks.
So this will get their next Tuesday block, right?
This is next Tuesday's block. Oh, here they are.
So we'll have to get a snapshot of that
Yeah,
coming together.
it is coming together.
Very, very cool, guys. I'm excited to see some of these get done. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, Vicki sewed ahead. She has hers
Yeah.
ready to quilt.
Vicki is on it.
But Vicki does that. She's very prolific.
Yeah.
with her
Pumpkin pin, Beverly. Oh, pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Can't wait.
That's what Beverly said. Oh, it almost looks like, you know.
It kind of does. A little bit. Pumpkin.
Put some chocolate on there, make a face, and you got yourself a
There you go.
pumpkin pie.
Yeah, if you
twist.
wanted to, you could sew buttons on these too for eyes. Like for the badge, you could sew some little buttons and
Maybe some little crystal.
little crystals, hot fix them.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Very cool.
we're set for next Tuesday, so we will see you. What's that? 10 days from now? No.
Yeah, the following Tuesday. Yeah.
Following Tuesday, 14 days, 13 days from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So enjoy your week, everyone.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for hopping on for this special edition. Have a great week.